Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Laurie and today I'm going to be doing my 2024 reading wrap up. I have never been so excited for a video in my life. I grew up obsessing over these kinds of videos and I would watch all the OG booktokers and booktubers and I would watch them do their yearly wrap up and I would be like, oh my goodness, I can't wait until one day I can do this. And now I have a channel with 3,000 subscribers who actually want to see stuff like this. So I'm so excited to film this video. So in the year of 2024, I read a grand total of 101 books. That is as of December 27th. So I am filming this video a couple of days early. I'll probably finish one more book maybe, but the chances are very slim. So I'm just cutting it off here. I already think 101 is a really awkward number, so we're just gonna call it at 100 books. There are a couple that I didn't add to my Goodreads. There are a couple that don't really even count as books because they were either really bad or really short. But for the most part, I think it's around 100 books that I read. So I have seen people do their reading wrap-ups in order of what they read. I, for one, cannot be bothered to put all my books in that order, so I've just separated them into genres. So I've got fantasy, romance, mystery/thriller, I've got Stephen King. I actually read a surprising amount of Stephen King this year for a person who doesn't even really like his writing that much. I read a lot of Stephen King, so I don't quite know what happened there. But yeah, I've got a couple of extra genres, I've got Robin Hobb, because I also read a lot of Robin Hobb. She's my favourite author. I'm just going to go through the genres and do it that way because I really can't be bothered to sort them into what I read first and what I read last. I'm also not going to go into depth on the plot and everything of each book because otherwise this video is literally going to be 4 hours long. So I'm just going to say my rating and then my main overall, just what I thought of the book. Also, there are some books that I literally am just going to say the rating on because I read them so long ago and they were kind of very insignificant to my life. There are a couple books that I read in January, and obviously I have the memory of a sieve. I'm actually a goldfish, so I can't remember that far back. I just realised my dog is on my bed and I had no idea she was even there. So if I don't give more my opinions and stuff, it's literally just because I cannot remember what I read. Anyways, without further ado, I'm gonna start with, what genre should I start with? Airy, cherry, chicken and cherry, airy, cherry, jolts. Okay, looks like we're starting with romance. So this is actually not even a romance book, but I didn't know what genre to put it in, and there was romance in it, so I just decided to put it in the romance pile. But it is more like a mental health book, I think, and more a story about grief. But this is Letters to Lost by Bridget Kammer. I rated this 5 stars. I really enjoyed this. This book focused a lot around mental health and grief. There was a sprinkling of romance in there. I just thought this was really good and very true to what having mental health struggles actually feels like, and I really related to it, so this one was 5 stars. Then one of my absolute favourite authors that I discovered this year is Emily Henry. I read every single book of her ever. I think there are still a couple that I haven't read, A Million Junes. I really want to read that one. But I read most of her recent romance books and I loved all of them. So I'm just going to really quickly go through these. First up we have Beach Read, which I rated 5 stars. This one I absolutely loved. I loved the storyline. It's such a cute, interesting idea. I love Emily Henry because her plots, they're tropes that we know and love, but then she adds a little twist in, and I think it's really fun, and obsessed with the romance in this. Then we have You and Me on Vacation, or People We Meet in Vacation. I actually don't know why this book has 2 names. This one I absolutely love. This is about 2 best friends. So it's kind of second chance, friends to lovers kind of situation. It's really cute, and again, really enjoyed this. These books are all great for summer, by the way. Emily Henry's books really have a summer vibe that I love. People We Meet on Vacation I rated 4 stars. Then we have Book Lovers, which I rated 5 stars. This one I was also obsessed with. I really enjoyed the plot of this one and the storyline being all about books and literary agents, because that's a path I kind of want to do in life, be a literary agent or a writer or something. I found this really interesting, and of course romance was top tier. Happy Place by Emily Henry. This one I also rated 5 stars. This was a kind of second chance romance, I think. Really cute again. Loved this book. So good, and another 5-star read. And then we have probably my favourite Emily Henry book so far is Funny Story. This one I rated 5 stars. I cannot explain to you how obsessed I am with this book. As you can see, the amount of times I've flipped through this just to read different things again. I actually think I should annotate this one because it has a lot of quotes and stuff that I really like. I also just really related to the story, and the main character works in a library, so I thought that was really cute. I love that Emily Henry kind of incorporates books into her books, if that makes sense. It makes it like really fun to read about because as bookworms, obviously, like having the setting in a library is just really cute. And again, really enjoyed this one. So that's all of the Emily Henry done. Then we have my first ever like adult romance series that I read, and I have been so obsessed with these books for like weeks and weeks and weeks now. I can't stop thinking about them, and that is the Windy City series by Liz Tomford. This is 100% one of my favorite series ever. It's so good. So we start with Mile High, which I rated 5 stars. I think every single one of these books I have rated 5 stars just because they're so good. What I love most about What I love most about Liz Tomford's books is that they're not just romance and they're not just smut. It's like very, like it goes so much deeper into each character. You really get to know each character. You really get to know their like backstories and their traumas, and you really get to see their character growth. The character growth in these books is just insane. Some of the best like character growth I've ever seen. They are all sports romances. So this first one is a hockey romance. The second one is like a baseball romance, and then the third one is a something or other romance. I don't know. I'm not into sports, but I do love sports romances. That I do love. This first one, 5 stars. Absolutely, like, loved. And what I also really love about these kinds of series I'm finding is that they're all interconnected. So you don't just follow the same characters throughout the books. You follow like the character's friend or the character's sister. And I find that really, really interesting because you still see your favorite characters like come back around, but it's not just the same thing, which I really, really enjoy. So I'm finding out the like interconnected romance series is one of my favorite things ever, and I cannot wait to read so many in 2025. Before this year, I was kind of just reading like a little YA romance here and there, but this year I've really like doubled down on the romance thing, and I'm obsessed. Like, could be like coming up to one of my next favorite genres. Like, I just love romance. It's so fun. The Right Move. This is another. I think this is the second book in the series. I did this the wrong order round. This is the third one. This is the second one, and this one was also 5 stars. It's really nice to have a series that doesn't just focus on the romance. It feels like it's so much more than that. And I'm absolutely obsessed with this series, and I can't wait to read the last one. And I think there's a new one coming out next year. I'm so excited. Obsessed with this series. Next up, we have a book from an author that I swore I would never read. I caved because I saw this in a secondhand bookstore, and I just thought, you know what, let's see what the hype is about, and I ended up kind of enjoying it. We have Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. This I rated 4 stars. Now that I think back on it, it was more like a 3 or 2.75 stars maybe. I don't know why I rated it so highly back then, but there were just some things about this that really bothered me. But for the most part, it was a cute romance. It's not really anything very, very memorable though. It was fun for what it was. Then we have another book that I swore I would never read, but my friends were reading it, and I kind of like caved into the peer pressure just a little bit, and I read it. We have Twisted Love by Anna Huang. This I rated 2 stars. I absolutely hated this. Like, I hate this book. I hate it. It's supposed to be a romance, but for me it wasn't so much a romance as just him stalking her and obsessing over her for over a year until she finally kisses him. Like, that bit was just really weird to me. Like, it's kind of giving stalker. Like, I don't know how people are looking at this book and seeing it as something romantic, because to me it was just creepy, weird, uncomfortable, and I did not enjoy it. I am definitely not continuing that series. I don't care if my friends are like, it gets better. I don't care. I don't want to. The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. I rated this 2 stars, absolutely hated it. For me, there was no plot, no character development, no backstories. It was literally just smut. Literally just smut. There wasn't a plot. There was nothing else. I won't be reading her adult romances again. I think I'll stick to Lynn Painter's YA romances, because those I can vibe with. They're really good. This, not so much. Then to a Lynn Painter book I did enjoy, Have Better Than the Movies. This one, absolutely loved. I rated this 5 stars. I was kind of very unsure about it in the first couple of pages because the girl in it just seemed very pick-me. But you know what? I got over it, and it is a really, really good book, and it's really cute, and I do recommend. Then we have another book, which I'm not really sure if I should like categorize it as a romance or what, but I feel like it was kind of a romance, maybe? Not really? I don't know. But we have Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Favorite Taylor Jenkins Reid book ever. This was a reread, and I already want to reread it again. Obviously, this is 5 stars. I just relate to this book on like another level as an older sister, and this book being mainly from the focus point of an older sister. It takes place in Malibu, like along the beach, so obviously great summer vibes, but mostly I just love this book because I relate to the main character so much. Then we have Tweet Cute by Emma Lord. This one I rated 4 stars, but now that I'm thinking back, I think it should probably be more like a 3-star because I don't really remember anything about it. I just remember that it was cute, it was fun, but again, not anything really memorable, so I think I'm going to probably downrate this to a 3 stars. It was cute while it lasted, just another fun, sweet romance. The Flatshare by Beth O'Leary I rated 4 stars. Again, I think this should probably be demoted to like more like a 3.5 because I can't really remember anything about it. I did try another book by Beth O'Leary after this one and didn't really enjoy it that much. I actually DNF'd it. But this one, again, squeak, ziggy. Another Taylor Jenkins Reid book, we have Carrie Soto is Back. This one I rated 4 stars. I'll actually just read the review of what I said. I said 4.5 stars. Somehow this book made me care about tennis. I loved Carrie and her character development. Also made me cry. Made me cry. Very cute. About tennis. Somehow made me care about tennis. I don't know. It's very good. I recommend. Then we have another series, which I actually haven't read the 3rd book yet. I can't really be bothered because I like this series. I like it a lot. But like, not enough to read the last book or spend money on the last book. The first 2 I found secondhand, which is why I actually bought them. But I really don't want to spend money on the 3rd one. So I think I'm probably just going to read it like on Kindle or something. But we have The Fine Print and Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. This is like a billionaire romance kind of thing. The Dreamland. It's called the Dreamland Billionaire series. They own a theme park. I rated both of these 4 stars. There's not really a lot I can say about these because there were some bits that I was just like, ugh. Like they kind of gave me the ick, you know? You know when a book just like, ooh, you know? It's about 3 different brothers. So we have Declan in this one. Oh no, Declan is the second one. Rowan is the first one. And then I think Xander's or something is the 3rd one. I can't really remember. I don't actually know why I haven't read the 3rd one. Like looking at these now, I'm like getting excited about them again because I did actually really enjoy them. Then last in the romance department, we have a book which I just finished like yesterday. I'm already so obsessed with this author. We have Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This was so good. It's like a cowboy romance. I don't know if I would... He's not really a cowboy, but it takes place in the mountains, and I would loosely class it as a cowboy romance, but this is really, really good. I meant to get Chestnut Springs and accidentally bought the Rose Hill series, and only 2 books are out in the Rose Hill series, so I now have to suffer for the next year or something until the 3rd book comes out. But after I've read Wild Love, and then I can't remember what the other one is, but when I've read the 2nd one, I'm gonna go on to Chestnut Springs, which is like the Flawless, Heartless, Powerless, Reckless, and Hopeless series. But yeah, really, really enjoyed this. This is like a brother's best friend romance, and it's also a workplace romance. She ate, and I love her. I'm just gonna really quickly go through my Stephen King books. First up, we have 11/22/63, which I rated 5 stars. This is kind of a time travel, like alternate universe, political intrigue, I don't know, something book. I really, really enjoyed this. This was the first ever Stephen King I read. I remember I read it like back in January, but I still think about this book all the time. Like a year later, my head is still like, oh my goodness, I just like can't stop thinking about this book. I really, really enjoyed it. I actually got this book recommendation from, I think it was Meg Reads Books, who is like my ultimate favorite booktuber. I'm obsessed with her. I love her videos, but she read this book in one of her like reading 30 books in 30 days challenges or something like that, and so I also read it and I'm obsessed with it. I love this book. It is the first Stephen King book I read, so I had a very good first impression of him. Let's just say my later impressions kind of went downhill just a little, but this one was the first one I read and I loved it. Then I read The Shining. This one I actually also rated 5 stars. I love this book and I love the movie even more. This is gonna sound super, super strange, but The Shining is my comfort movie. Like if I'm sad or anxious, I watch The Shining. I don't know what that says about me. We're gonna ignore. Ignore. Move on. I really enjoyed this one. I just realized I'm not even holding up The Shining, bro. This is The Shining. I am the worst booktuber ever. Confirmed. Okay. This is The Shining. This one I rated 5 stars. Thank you and good night. This one, however, is Insomnia by Stephen King. This one I rated 2 stars. Probably should be more like a 1 star. The first 100 pages were okay, but the rest of it, to be quite frank, it sucked. And I hated it, and I want to burn this book, and no words. Then we have The Institute by Stephen King. This one I rated 3 stars. For the most part, I think the plot was very slow. Like, I did find it very, very intriguing, but I think the end was just very much a letdown. Like, it's not what I was expecting, it's not what I wanted, and I didn't really enjoy it that much, but 3 stars. Cujo I rated 4 stars. This book is terrifying. This book is horrifying, like, in every sense of the word. It made me so, like, panicky. I just realized my necklace isn't even out, bro. This one I rated 4 stars. This book is horrifying, and I hated it, but at the same time I loved it. Like, Carrie, I also rated 4 stars. This book, is it a 4 star? Is it? I don't know. I think I probably enjoyed the movie more, which is seeming to be the case with a lot of Stephen King books. I just think he takes too long to get to the point. It's like, bro, just get there, you know? Just get there, please, just get there. Like, he'll take like 25 pages to explain how a blade of grass looks, and I'm like, dude, please just get to the point. And then we have Cell by Stephen King. This one I can't remember a single thing about. I think it was like the apocalypse or something, maybe. There was zombies, or the phones were turning people into... Girl, I don't know. This one I rated 3 stars. Again, probably should be more like a 2.5, 2.75 kind of situation. But yeah, can't remember. I honestly think I should just stop reading Stephen King, because for the most part it looks like I don't enjoy him that much. But like, I just want to know what the fuss is about. So far, I kind of see the hype. Like, maybe if we squint really, really hard, we can see the hype. I just want to know why he got so famous, you know? I can kind of see it. I'm just going to do a quick rundown of the kind of sci-fi / dystopian books I read this year. This used to be one of my favorite genres when I was like 13, 14. Over the years, it kind of fizzled down a bit, and I do really want to read more sci-fi and dystopian in the next year, in 2025. Like, I really want to read Red Rising, and there are a couple like more mature adult ones that I want to read. But yeah, this year I didn't really read that many for some reason. The Grace Year by Kim Liggett, I rated 5 stars. This was really, really creepy. I think is the best way I can describe it. Very, very creepy and unsettling. Thinking back, probably more of like a 4 star, but back in the day, but like 8 months ago when I read this, it was a 5 star. I guess it was a 5 star at the time, so I don't know if I can really like demote books after this long. I don't know how this works, but you know what? It's there. These Broken Stars by... It's 2 different people who wrote it, and I cannot be bothered to try and figure out how to read that cursive. I can't read cursive. I literally can't, so... This one, for some odd reason, I rated this 5 stars, which I'm very, very confused about. I think maybe that's a typo, because this is definitely 3.75. Like, it shouldn't be higher than, like, a 3.75, 4 stars. Like, it shouldn't be higher than that. Not quite sure why I rated it so highly. I don't know if I should put I didn't know if I should put this in, like, the classics genre, or in sci-fi, or dystopian, I don't know, but this is the only kind of classic I read. We have The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. This one I rated 3 stars. It was kind of very blandly written. I didn't enjoy the writing style. I don't know, I just didn't like it. The Martian by Andy Weir I read for my book club. Not my book club, a book club I belong to with my friends. And we read this one. I rated this 4 stars, I think. Yeah, so this one I rated 4 stars. For the most part, I really enjoyed this book. I loved the humour. The plot was very, very interesting. It definitely, like, keeps you wanting to read because it's very tense. I was just very, very disappointed in the ending. I did not like the ending of this book at all. I was actually very, very disappointed. I'm just going to say a quick spoiler real quick. So if you haven't read this, spoiler, 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 I'm about to say a spoiler. Why didn't he die at the end? I'm so confused. I wanted him to die. Like, it's such an unrealistic plot already. Like, getting stranded on Mars, already unrealistic. But then to have him live? I was like, dude, this should have gone tragically wrong. I wanted like a tragic, heartbreaking ending where he's like reaching out for his friend's hand and it's like just fading away and then he dies. Like, and then he lived and went back to Earth. I'm like, bro, that's not realistic. Please, let's be so for real. I wanted him to die. I don't care how that sounds. Like, I just wanted him to die. and I was very disappointed that he didn't. Then we have a reread of one of my favourite series ever. We have the what is this series called actually? We have the Arc of a Scythe series by Neil Shusterman. This series I was rereading. First one I rated 5 stars, second one I rated 4 stars, and then the third one I also rated 4 stars. I absolutely love the series with all my heart. There's like literally nothing bad I can say about this. It's like a post-apocalyptic kind of world where no one dies, no one's sick. I'm not supposed to be going into detail, but I would highly recommend these. They're very, very good. I enjoyed. Okay, I'm going to go over all of the fantasy. This is probably the biggest genre I have, and this is going to take a while because I've got like 2 huge stacks of books here, so this is going to take a while. This Woven Kingdom by Tara Murphy, I rated all 3 of these books 3 stars. I enjoyed the Shatter Me series like a lot more. I wouldn't say these are overhyped necessarily, but I just don't think they're quite as good as people are making them out to be. But I think there was just a lot of things that didn't really make sense. Like there were like plot bits or things that appeared out of nowhere that I was just like, huh, where did that come from? No one has mentioned this before. And honestly, it was kind of like a drag to get through. Like I was kind of like, ugh, when can we leave, you know? But 3 stars is still pretty good. Like I definitely enjoyed it while I was reading it. Then I read the entire ACOTAR series by Sarah J Maas. I rated the first one 3 stars. I rated the second one 4 stars. The third one I rated 4 stars, and then the third one I rated 3 stars. So overall, I would say it's like a 3.75 kind of series overall. This series, I do not understand the hype. I will just say that right now. I am an ACOTAR hater until the day I die. First book was definitely one of the dumbest books I've ever read. I think she was fighting a giant worm at some point. I just didn't really vibe with it. The romance was weird. There were a couple of really weird lines that just like absolutely took me out, and I was like, excuse you actually. And I had to like put the book down and take a break for a couple of days because I was like, that is just, huh, you know? And I also found a lot of it to be very predictable. So yeah, not a huge ACOTAR fan, and I won't be rereading, but they're there and I read them. I read a couple of V.E. Schwab books this year. I read The Dark Vault by V.E. Schwab. This is like a bind up of 2 different books, so it's The Archived and The Unbound. This book I rated 5 stars. I'm obsessed with anything V.E. Schwab writes. She could literally write a grocery list and I would read it, and also was a really, really cute romance. Then I read 4 Dead Queens by Astrid Skolte, I think. Skolte? I don't know. This one I rated 3 stars. Can't really remember anything about it. It was very just insignificant to me in my life. And yeah, 3 stars. Nothing I can say about this because I don't really remember it. Then one of my all-time favourite fantasy series I reread for I think probably the 3rd time. I read the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber. I will never not be a defender of these books. I don't care if they're like, they seem kind of childish or not well written. They mean so much to me because I read them when I was like going through a really hard time in my life, blah blah blah. I'm not going to do the whole sob story, but I think I was 13 the first time I read these, and I just keep coming back to them because they're kind of my comfort books. Every single book in the series 5 stars. Then by that same author we have the Curse for True Love series. This was written after Caraval, and also I really enjoyed these ones. I think I rated all 3 of them 4 stars. I love these. Romance, so cute. I absolutely love Jax. He's one of my favourite fantasy characters of all time. Again, they're not anything like incredible or like groundbreaking. They're just really, really fun to read. And of course, the covers are some of the cutest covers I've ever seen. 4-star series. Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan, I rated 3 stars. This is, to me, very, very overhyped. I don't see it. Like, I think the plot was very jumpy. Like, there's a lot of random time jumps all throughout, and you're like, one moment you're here and then the next moment you're there. There were bits that just didn't make sense, and I won't be reading the rest of the series because it was just kind of like a bit of a flop to me. Like, I don't really understand the hype around this book. Maybe I'm just missing something, but yeah, to me this wasn't that great. Sorry, I've just got to let the dog out. Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson were both 4 stars. I really, really love the main character in this book. I think the plot was very, very interesting. I do think it's like a really, really fun, quick, duet to get through, and I did enjoy them. Then I did yet another reread of Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. I will love this series until the day I die. Both of these books are 5 stars. The female main character in these books is one of my all-time favorites. I love Alosa so much, and I'm obsessed with the romance in these. Raiden. And I love the plot of these. Like, I don't really think there's anything about these books that I don't like. I love both of them equally. Then again, I didn't really know whether to put these in fantasy or like mythical, like I didn't know whether to put this in fantasy or retellings or what, so I just put it in fantasy. But we have the Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This one, 5 stars. I cannot describe to you how much I love this book. I don't think I've ever cried so hard to a book. I think the only other book I've cried to as much as I did this one is probably like the last Robin Hood book that I ever read. But this one had me crying for a solid 3 hours. Like, I was a mess. I'm gonna put like a photo in here somewhere because I just think it's funny. But this book actually, like, emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally destroyed me. Like, it ruined me. It ruined me. I thought people were being dramatic about how sad this is. They weren't. They weren't. I really need to do a reread of this and highlight all of my favorite quotes, because that one quote, "He is half of my soul," as the poet says, like, excuse you, Madeline Miller? By the same author, we have Circe. I also rated this one 5 stars. This was the first one I read, and then I read Song of Achilles next. They're not like connected or anything, but I can't wait until Madeline Miller releases another book because I just know it's going to be incredible. Okay, I'm on to my last little stack of fantasy. We have The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This one I rated 5 stars. This book is a brick, first of all. This is like almost 1,000 pages. It's crazy long, and it took me like 3 weeks to read. It's also very, very slow paced, but I think one of the only reasons I actually finished this is because of each character. Like, I was so deeply invested in each character's development. It follows 4 different POVs, so you get 4 characters that you're following. I just said the same thing different way twice. I haven't read the second book because I just like, it just took so long to get into this one that I'm kind of dreading like going through that again, because it did take like the first probably 200 pages to actually get invested. The world building, and there's so many characters, it's kind of very complicated, and you have to really, it's one of those books where you have to like really focus. But again, I think about this book so often and loved it. 5 stars. Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I also rated 5 stars. This is the first book I've ever read by this author, and I immediately need to go and read everything else she's ever written. I love the writing style of this book so much, and I love the main character. The plot was cute. I just think this is a really heartwarming, like cozy winter fantasy kind of vibe. I don't really know if it is a winter fantasy. I class it as a winter fantasy. It's a very, very low stress kind of book. You're not like battling or chasing after things. It's kind of very chill vibes. Of course, there are still some like battle scenes and stuff, but it's not like intense. It's not like you have to like really worry about the characters, and also there is like a romance side plot, which I loved. I reread the 3 Dark Crowns series by Kendra Blake. I read these for the first time probably when I was 12 or 13, and so I reread these having those like 13-year-old expectations and love for these books in my head, and rereading them I kind of found them to be very, very more childish, and so I actually didn't finish the series. I think I read to book 4. There are like 5 books I think, but I think it's just one of those books that I kind of should have left in the past. Sometimes you like read a book when you're young and you have like these expectations of when you'll reread it, and then with your older, like with my older like 17-year-old brain now reading these, I just found them to be kind of very childish and not that well written or well thought out, so I decided to just stop reading them before I like ruined it for myself completely. Kind of regret rereading them in a way, because it kind of washed away those first experiences I had of it, and I really, really loved the series when I was younger. It was like magical to me. And then we have yet more rereads. Who could have guessed? So over the past couple of weeks I've been rereading the Throne of Glass series. I read this probably when I was like 15, 14, I don't know. But I love this series with all my heart. The first book I rated 3 stars. Oh no, the first book I rated 4 stars. Second book I rated 4 stars, and then the third one I also rated 4 stars. But I am just as obsessed with this series as I was the first time I read it. I think Selena is probably... No, I think she is my all-time favourite female main character. So yeah, I recommend Throne of Glass to everyone. This is the same author who wrote Akatar. It's so crazy to me how she like did such a intricate, like incredible plot and characters in this one, and then went and wrote Akatar. I don't really know how that happened, but yeah, I'm loving these, and I'm on the fourth one, and I just can't get over this series. It like has stuck in my mind for so many years. I just had to reread it, and it's just as good as the first time. Okay, so that is finally all of my fantasy done. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I think maybe I'll do my Robin Hobbs next. Okay, so I'm gonna do my Robin Hobb books next. If you know me and you've been watching my channel, you know Robin Hobb is my favorite author of all time. Like I am a Robin Hobb defender until the day I die. Like I'm gonna be buried with her books. I'm gonna be buried with them. So I finished these series this year and immediately started rereading it, like, and annotating. I'm gonna show that one in a minute. There's not really a lot I can say about these books except for the ratings that I gave them, because again, this is like the, I think, 10th book in the series. I read the Rainwild Chronicles, which I think is like the probably 5th kind of mini series in the big series. Each one of these are rated 4 stars. This is like a 4-star series altogether. Obsessed with it, loved it. Then I read the Fitz and the Fool trilogy. I can't talk about these without crying. Each one of these books, 6-star read. I cannot talk about how much I love these books enough. They mean so much to me, and like I genuinely don't want to sound like sappy when I say this, but they literally helped me through one of the most difficult times of my life. Throughout everything, I always had a Robin Hobb book, because I think about these books and these characters every single day. They never leave my mind. I cannot talk about my love of these books enough. So again, each of these, 5 stars, 6 stars. Obviously, I started rereading the entire series. It's a 16-book series, by the way. I started rereading the second I finished Assassin's Fate, which is the last book, and I've been annotating, as you can see. Shaman's Crossing by Robin Hobb. This one I rated 3 stars. This is not a part of the Realm of the Eldling series, which is the one I love, and I thought I would give another Robin Hobb a try, and to be honest, I feel really guilty saying this because she is my favourite author, but I didn't like this one. Like, I just thought it was kind of very, very long, very, like, confusing and kind of gross. Like, I don't know if that's the right word to explain it, but, like, I just think it was kind of, like, icky. And I didn't really enjoy it that much, and it was very slow. So I didn't know what genre to put these books in, so I'm going to put them in kind of the thought slash sad slash thinking slash mental health slash, like, kind of, girl, I don't know like what to categorize these books as, and I'm not about to look up the genre for each of them. So I've just put all of the kind of sad books, I like to call them, in one pile. Tuesdays with Maury by Mitch Albom. 5 stars. Love this book. Great life lessons. Annotated a lot of it, and can't wait to reread. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I rated 5 stars. I'm obsessed with this book. It has so many gorgeous quotes. The writing style I'm in love with. The writing is just so like thoughtful and beautifully written. And again, storyline I'm so obsessed with. I love this book and I can't wait to reread and annotate. The House on the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I also rated 5 stars. This book is so heartwarming, very much found family, and it's very heartwarming and just gives you like a warm fuzzy feeling inside. Like, I don't have another word for it other than heartwarming. Love this book. When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi, I think. I rated this one 4 stars. I wanted to read one non-fiction this year. Or is it fiction? I always get confused. Like, I'm actually an idiot. It's either non-fiction. It's a real life story, so it's like a biography? Girl, I should have paid attention in English class. It's a true story that this man wrote. Thinking about this while you're reading it and then realizing it's actually a true story and not just something that someone made up is so painful to me. And The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna was another 5-star read. This is such a story about like a woman's love and passion. Just this woman who like never gave up, and her spirit is so strong, and I found it really, really inspiring. It made me cry a lot, and this book just means a lot to me, and I love Kristen Hanna's writing. When Britt Marie Was Here by Friedrich Bachmann is a 4-star read. I really, really enjoyed this one. It had a lot of great life lessons, just like all of Friedrich Bachmann's books. I also read Anxious People by Friedrich Bachmann. This one I rated 5 stars. I love Friedrich Bachmann. I want to read everything he's ever read so far. I've only read these two, and then I've read A Man Called Ove, or Ove, I don't know. But so far I've loved everything he's written, and I definitely want to read the Beartown series next year. That's my next read by him. When All Is Said by Anne Griffin is a book about a man who is toasting to 5 different people before he himself. So again, very like, geez Louise, it kind of hits you in your heart, you know? And it's a very old man who's just sat at a bar, just toasting to the 5 people who meant the most to him, and it's each of their stories. Again, I think about this book really, really often. It's kind of one of those books that like just clings to you, and you kind of can't get rid of it. I love this book so much. Another Life by Chris and Hannah is a 5-star read. This book broke my heart and then put it back together. I have such a love for Kristen Hannah now. She's definitely one of my newfound favourite authors of this year. And her writing style is just so beautiful, and her stories are so like inspiring and heartwarming, and I love them. My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell, I rated 4 stars. This is a book about grooming and sexual assault, so very, very heavy read. But I did think it was very, very well done and very realistic to what those kind of situations actually are. So I can't really say that I enjoyed this, because again, it's a book about sexual assault and grooming, so it'd be really weird if I actually enjoyed this. But it did make me incredibly uncomfortable and icky, and like, ugh, like, it was just very uncomfortable to read and very disturbing. But I think that's what it's supposed to do, and for that, I like it. Then lastly, in this kind of genre that I've made up, we have The Dictionary of Lost Words by Pip Williams. I rated this one 4 stars. I picked it up in just a random bookstore and I thought it looked interesting. And it was interesting, and I really enjoyed it. It's a book about words. That's probably the best way I can describe it. It's just a book about words. Again, it's literally called The Dictionary of Lost Words. So I really enjoyed this one. It reminds me of the kind of books I used to read when I was younger. So we are down to my last genre, which is mystery/thriller. This is actually one of my favourite genres, and I only have like probably 15 books, and I have no idea how that happened, because usually I read so many mystery thrillers, like so many, and I really have no idea what happened this year. I just didn't read that many for some reason, which I'm really confused about. But anyways, let's go through them. 50/50 by Steve Kavanaugh was one of my biggest letdowns of the year. I rated this one 3 stars. This had been on my to-read list for probably 4 years, and when I finally did read it, it was kind of just a disappointment. It focuses much more on the court side of things, which I didn't really find all that intriguing, to be honest. Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I rated this one 3.5 stars. I read this so long ago, I literally cannot remember a single thing about it. I don't think I'll read any more Alice Feeney, because I personally just didn't enjoy the writing style that much. Then one of my favourite series of this year is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I rated this one 4 stars. This one 4 stars. I think I rated them all 4 stars. This is a 4-star series. Jennifer Lynn Barnes also wrote The Inheritance Games, and I didn't enjoy The Inheritance Games nearly as much as I enjoyed these. These were really good, like top tier young adult mystery thrillers. I gave them to my sister as soon as I finished them, and she also absolutely loved them. It's just such an interesting twist on, it's kind of like supernatural but not really supernatural. Paper Dolls by Emma Puller, I rated 2 stars. This is not what I thought it was. I found it very, very disturbing and creepy and didn't like it at all. Murder in the Family by Cara Hunter, I also rated 3 stars. I think it just wasn't what I was expecting. It was very, very, very confusing. Like, I couldn't really follow the plot. There was way too many characters. The twist was kind of also very confusing. I still actually don't know what happened. Like, I literally think back on this book and it's just like a mess of names and places. And to be honest, I really have no idea what happened. I finished it and I was like, so who's the murderer? Because I just couldn't make sense of it. There's just way too many characters. And 3 stars. The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson, one of my favourite mystery thriller authors. She wrote A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I rated this one 3 stars. It was a good book, don't get me wrong. I just didn't enjoy it as much as her other books. I think there was a couple things that could have been done differently. And yeah, my sister loved it. It's one of her 5-star reads for this year. I probably wouldn't reread or anything, but it was a good mystery thriller, like a good standard mystery thriller. Just When I Was 10 by Fiona Cummings, I rated 3 stars. This one I can't really remember anything about. I think it's about a sister who killed her parents. Or they're twins. They're twins? It's just one of those mystery thrillers that you kind of read and then you move on. So it's not anything amazing, but while I was reading it, it was good. All in Her Head by Nikki Smith, I also rated 3 stars. This is just, again, standard mystery thriller. I enjoyed it while it lasted, but it's not anything memorable. And then the same thing goes for this. 3 stars. It's called The Perfect Wife by J.P. Delaney. This one rated 3 stars. Not anything memorable, but, you know, it was good while it lasted. Is that finished? No way am I finished. Oh! No way am I finished. Did I miss something? I must have missed something. I just have a very small list of books I read that I don't have the physical copies of. We have How to Kill Your Family by, I can't remember the name, but 3 stars. That's the first book I read of this year, I think. And I can't remember a single thing about it. Foster by, I can't remember her name, Claire Keegan. I rated 4 stars. Absolutely love Claire Keegan, and I need to buy like a collection of her stories so I can read more of them, because I really, really did enjoy that one. And then I read the short story Finn by Stephen King, which is like 30 pages, made no sense, hated it, 1 star. Okay, 24. I think it comes out to like 100 books, maybe like 102. I don't know the exact number, and I probably will read at least 1 more by the end of the year, but I kind of just wanted to get the main big wrap up out of the way. Maybe if I do read 1 more, I'll just do like a quick little review of it and put it somewhere in this video. But yeah, for the main part, that is everything I read. I had such a good reading year. I think this is the 2nd year that I've read 100 books. Last year it was like 70, and then the year before that I did 102. I think next year I really want to focus on reading good quality books that I know I'm gonna like. I don't want to be reading stuff that I'm kind of iffy on. Like, I only want to buy a book if I'm like 100% sure that I'm going to love it. And I also think before I buy a book, I should like just read the first couple of pages to see if I actually vibe with the writing style before I actually buy it. Like, I feel like I need to be a lot more conscious of my decisions, and probably also save a load of money that way, instead of just buying things because I know other people like them. I think I should probably do my own research and kind of make 100% sure that I'm gonna like them before I buy them. And I also want to read, again, a lot more non-fiction this year. Next year. Is it fiction or non-fiction? I want to read a lot more fiction books, like biographies and stuff. I definitely want to continue to read all of my romance books. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe for more content like this. This is definitely one of my favorite videos I've ever filmed. I have no idea how long it's gonna be, probably around 40 minutes, I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm gonna go edit this for the next couple of days, and I'm gonna upload it sometime either New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. I'm gonna link my Goodreads, my TikTok, and I made like an Amazon wish list. I just think it's fun for other people to see like what I want to read and what's on my list and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna put all of the links down in the description. And yeah, I will see you in the new year. I have so much more bookish content planned for next year, and I'm really excited about it, and I'm really excited to grow my channel, and just like, I think next year's gonna be really fun. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!